legendary medals are going to be one of the most rare currency in Call of Dragons due to recent changes that comes after Season 1 Plus. My name is Rarest from Casuals, and today I'm going to be letting you know something that is covered a bit of the hard way. Now, of course, there is not a ton of methods of getting these legendary medals, but it is going to be one of the most limited resources you can get in Call of Dragons, because in order to upgrade from 5 stars to 6 stars, you're going to need like 5 to 600 of them. And then to go from 4 to 5 star, you need about 3 to 400 of them, meaning that almost 1,000 stars will go into the last 2-star levels. As you can see, most of the heroes that we had in Season 1 are at 4 star because it was the maximum. And now with Season 1 Plus, we've unlocked all the way to 6 star. And as you can see, every point of 1 star that I give is basically 0.37. So you need 3 of them to make 1.1%. Meaning that in order to get 100 times that, you'll need, about 300 of them, probably a little bit less because you will get some crits, but the crits are quite rare. And if you could get crits on these ones instead, the value will be much higher, but these are obviously much rarer and harder to get. And as I said, now when we are going to the last star, it is going to be, 0.18% every time. So 6 of them gives me 1%, meaning that I need almost 100 times 6, which is, I get 500 about, I would say, with the crits if you're lucky, which is a pretty damn large amount. Now, obviously, I've been getting these anytime and anywhere I can, but there is really not a very easy way of getting these in the game. And one thing that I haven't done well enough is buy them anytime I could when they were available in the Goblin Market or the Merit Store and stuff like that, because they are available here. Obviously, I don't have it right now, but you can see there's the epic ones. They do come here regularly, and as well as other places. So now that we have established that this is going to be one of the hardest currencies to get in the game, what does it give you? Of course, the priority for any hero you're using is to get to 4 stars. It unlocks all your skills, it unlocks the deputy, and all that kind of stuff. Now, the 5th and 6th star do not give as much of a buff. They are not necessary. It will not make or break your army. Unless you are obviously a whale fighting with max stats against another whale with max stats, you obviously want to have the extra edge because any stats will make a difference. So obviously having 5 stars will give you 5% attack resistance. So it is a defensive stat that will make you take, 5% less attack damage or attack stats counting against you. It's not exactly clear, but you will get more defensive against attack. You will resist attack. So that's kind of what it means. 5% is not the biggest number in the world, but it is also not the smallest number. 5% is meaningful, especially as you get into higher tier units with hundreds of thousands, 200,000 troops in your army. 5% to all of them is a very good boost. Now, the last star is 5% defense penetration. Now, this is arguably even better. Obviously, it's very expensive to get there, but defense penetration is a very, very powerful stat. And it's not only a powerful stat, it's a stat that is already existing in this game in the way that heroes already have stuff like that. So, here is a defense break. So Kinara has defense break, the control tree, a lot of the talents in general have defense break, reducing enemies' defense. So these are obviously already very meaningful stats. You reduce their defense, you do much more damage, but not only do you do more damage, you also reduce their defense so that other players in your alliance or team can do more damage. So it is a very, very powerful stat, as it is on any hero that currently has it. And add that with the 5 stars or the 6 stars, you do gain a significant bonus. Now, for free-to-play players, I obviously do not recommend that you go and blow all your stars into a hero and make it to 6 stars and then basically have no star to do anything else in the game. So this is something to keep in mind. It is something really targeted towards the higher spenders and the whales of this game, because as a whale, you have a few ways of buying it that, other players don't. First of all, you'll find them a lot in these packs. So, a lot of these pay-to-win packs have a lot of medals. So that's one way that they can get it, by paying. There's also this one, of course, every week. This is not with gems, this is with resources. I've been buying this since the beginning. Anybody who's seen this should have been buying this in the beginning. It's like, I think it costs wood or gold. You should be buying anything that costs wood or gold in this store anytime, because you can just transform them into scraps and get more stuff with it if you don't like it. It's just resource is infinitely gatherable as opposed to other stuff. So just buy it when you can, 100%. This is the biggest tip. If you haven't been doing this, start doing this. But as you can see, as you go further, you can buy the stronger ones for gems. So like this is going to be, 15, 20,000 gems to buy this. So obviously this can be done every week. You could have done it every week since the beginning, which some people have done. So there's a very big edge here, which is very much of a way for people who spend money to get an edge with these stars and get these little stats extra. So it's very, very focused towards these kind of players. So if you're free to play, just don't really bother with going over 4 stars unless you really, really want to and you're going to use that hero for the rest of your life. Because one thing to remember is that these never reset. So from season to season, you're always going to keep their stars maxed out. It's not going to make a difference. If it resets, this will never reset. So this is something that you keep on your account forever, as opposed to the level. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, the biggest thing that you might have been forgetting to do is to buy these stars in the Goblin Merchant. As you can see, the Goblin Merchant does sometimes give these stars at a reduced rate. Now, the reduced rate for gems is not going to be worth it for non-whales or not heavy spenders, but sometimes it is going to be buyable with resources instead of gems. Here it is, I got lucky. 420,000 gold is a lot of gold, but you do get a full star out of it. It is valuable, it is worth it. I recommend that if you can and if you see it, just do it. You will not regret it in the long run when you have a lot of stars for all your heroes. The power that you gain from the stars, especially the first 4 levels, which is obviously not that easy to achieve. 4 stars on all the heroes still cost a decent amount of these stars. It's just very valuable to do so. Now, one other way to get these stars will be obviously from chests. This is going to happen randomly. You get a chance in the golden chest to get the stars. As they are here, the chance is not that high. Another place you can get gold stars again is going to be in the scrap. Here, you can see that you can scrap a lot of your extras here and get tokens. You can buy 10 legendary medals here every week. Now, you need to scrap exchange tokens from heroes. So you need to have a lot of extra tokens from heroes, which is not that easy to get. You can obviously also scrap the epic medals once you don't really need them anymore, which will happen once you all have all the heroes you want at 5 stars, for example. So this will give you, a decent amount, like 1,000 for all I have for so far, but this will cost you also hundreds and hundreds every week. So again, this is something that is going to be geared towards people who have a lot more stuff to spend and scrap, but it is one way to get legendary medals if you're missing some. This is one of the ways that you can do it. Now, of course, the best way to get these stars in the game will be from events. You can see here you get from the Crucible of Courage, you get these stars. You get a star from the Strongest Lord. Basically, every day you get a star here. There's a decent amount of stars here in the spins. The more you spin, the more chances of you getting a few stars for free, basically. But in general, just playing the game as much as you can, doing all the events, and buying them in the daily store, merit store, goblin shop, all that kind of stuff, as well as the weekly reset in your VIP store. These are going to be the best way to buy these stars and get as much as you need for all your heroes. It is just something to keep in mind whenever you see an event with stars or whenever you see these things. Do not forget to buy them and accumulate them because you will need them. Now, when it comes to spending these stars to upgrade your heroes, what is the best way of doing it? Of course, when you don't have a choice, this is the only way. Auto select will just select basically the highest ones and you just basically promote and that's it. As you can see, it just goes and it's 2 at a time. I would basically, if I get a lucky chance, a crit, you basically get double of what is written here. So this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to use an epic commander just to show you because this is obviously, I don't have these stars. But if you, for example, are getting an epic commander, let's say this was not an epic, it would work the same way in terms of percentages. So this is worth 1,000 points, this is worth 300 points. So of course, the best value in the world is if you only do this, it's obviously 22%. Now, if I get a crit, I'm getting 22% for free, right? So if I do, let's say, only these ones, I'm getting 2.2%. So I'm getting 10 times more like this. If I get a crit, I'm getting 2% free value. If I get a crit when they're fully like this, I'm getting 20% free value. Now you understand how valuable these are, but crit chance in this game seems very low. It's 1 in 10 or something. I don't exactly know, but I know it's very low. It doesn't really say here much. It does tell you that if you go excess, if you go over 100%, it will refund you. So that is not something to worry about. But it is obviously hard to tell. This is obviously just a small one. It's worth 300. Now, the strategy that I would recommend. Now, if you have a ton of these, it doesn't matter, but you won't have a ton of these. The best strategy in order to really get your crit highest is to use a little mix of both, like 2, 2, and 2. I'm getting 10%. Now I'm gonna miss a few, but when I get a crit, it's a free 10%. So obviously, it's not the exact formula. I'm not a mathematician. I do not have all the information on exactly what's the best way. It will depend also on what you have available. You can put, obviously, in my case, I have a ton of these, so I would put 2 of these with, let's say, 4 of these, 11%. Okay, not too bad. Now I'm gonna keep doing it, 2 of these, 4 of these, until I get a crit. Now, obviously, it's gonna take a while, and it is not going to be a high crit chance. As I've told you, it is quite low, the crit chance. But as you can see, I can do this quite a few times. If I did this with only these, I would already be out and not gotten a crit. So this is really what I mean by doing a little bit at a time. I'll just keep going until I get a crit, and I really just won't happen because I'm making a video, obviously. So it is just what it is. But it just shows you how hard it is to get a crit and why it's important to, do this in a smart way. So I got a crit at the last second when I had almost nothing. But this will be a good way of showing you that, I've gotten 24 extra excess point stars because I crit over the maximum. So it's still good to do max all the time. I think this explains exactly what I mean. Crits are rare, so you don't want to just go like, oh, all 4 of these at the beginning, then you don't crit, you have none of them left. You want to kind of space them out so you get a higher chance of getting a crit. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. Of course, stars and leveling up is a tricky thing, and I, again, do not recommend that people who are not very big spenders try and go above 4 or 5 stars too early. It's better to have all your heroes 4 stars, then you can try and work on one hero to 5 or 6 stars. Not too fast, not too much at the beginning, otherwise you will hurt yourself. And again, these 5% defense penetration and 5% attack resistance, they're good buffs, but they're not game-breaking buff. The difference it will make will mostly be 4 whales. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.